time blindness and time conscious people, this is not really going to be so harmonious. So, are there people who are time blind and are there people who are extremely time conscious? So, what do we mean by that? What do we mean by time blindness? So, when you look at time blindness, there are many of us around, including people sitting in this room, who are not aware of time in that sense, right? And who are not punctual for almost anything, right? Everything they'll be running late, and their clocks run slower in their head. Their clocks run slower in their head, and whereas the people who are time conscious, extremely aware of time, they'll always be before time for an appointment, right? If the appointment is at 10 o'clock, they'll be there at 9:50, they'll be there. And they can't they can't think of wasting time. To them, time is a precious resource which should never be wasted. Whereas people who are time blind, it's like anything else. What's the big deal? 10 minutes late ho gaya to kya ho gaya? What's the big difference? Why are we making such a fuss now that we are 10 minutes late? So when this happens, when time blindness person has to live with a time conscious people, it's such a huge burden on all of us, right? So when we look at time, when a time conscious person, when he looks at a time blind person, he thinks they're doing it deliberately. This is the first thing that comes up, right? This person is deliberately doing it. I told them to be ready at 10 o'clock and look at them, they're not ready at 10 o'clock. So they're doing it deliberately. It's not deliberation, it's not malice. They just can't help who they are. Just like you can't, let's assume that the people sitting in this room are all time conscious people. Can you be time blind on some day? You will struggle to be time blind, right? If I say that, oh, why don't you go 10 minutes late to that appointment, right? Don't tell them, don't call them, don't message them. Go half an hour late. Now what happens? You will not feel that. Your body will itch, right? Your body will itch. You will feel like, something drastic is going to happen if I go late. But you can't help who you are, right? When you're a time conscious person, your personality is that you are extremely conscious of time. At any given point of time, you can say what is the time, how much time, and time conscious people can estimate how much time a job will take. A time blind person cannot estimate how much time a job will take. A time conscious person can tell you, oh, from here to that place it will take me half an hour. So if I have to drive, I have to take half an hour. So which means if I leave at 9:30, I'll reach that point at 10 o'clock. So which means I'll have 10 minutes time to for the 10 o'clock 10 minutes appointment. They can plan like that. Whereas a time blind person, how much time will it take to go here? It will take something 10 minutes, I can go there. They think they can go there in 10 minutes when actually it will take them half an hour to go. They've gone there many times, but still they can't, right? So this is when we look at a time blind person, we think that they are doing it deliberately. What if I tell you that no, that's how they are wired? That's how they are wired. For them, the clock runs in a different way, right? You tell your son that, look, you have to have a bath and be ready at 10 o'clock. We are going to leave at 10 o'clock. You say, yes, daddy, I'll leave at 10 o'clock. I'll be ready at 10 o'clock. And you're like 9:50, you're saying, no, 10 minutes. Are you ready? Yes, I'm just going for a bath. At 9:55, he'll go for a bath. And you're telling him, no, 5 minutes you have to be out. 5 minutes, dad, I'll be out. And 10:15, he's coming out at the bath. Is he doing it deliberately? We think he's doing it deliberately. But this person is totally not conscious of time. It's very difficult for us to believe that, that this is something like a ingrained, hardwired into that person. But believe me, those who are suffering from ADHD, this is one of the symptoms for them, that they are not conscious of time, time blindness. They don't know how, there's a hole in their daily life where so much of time goes in, they don't know where the time went. So time blindness and time consciousness is a hardwired phenomena. It's like it's a nature of you, just like it's a nature of being an initiator and responder, being time conscious and being time blind is hardwired into all of us. And there are so many conflicts that happen in our households because of this. Because the person who is extremely time conscious struggles with the person who is not time conscious. How do we live with this? Because time conscious people always put themselves at an elevated We put ourselves at an elevated level, and we'll think all time blind people are, idiots. They don't know the value of time, and there's some like a lower class citizens, right? And they look at you and think, what is they making big fuss about this? 10 minutes muhurtak hogdare ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? If you go 10 minutes late for a movie, what are we going to do? Right? 10 minutes movie, all the credits will come, then we'll go and sit in the movie. No, you
Yeah.
want to be there when the curtain goes up. So when you look at this time blind people, whom we can call as time blind people, like Indra said, there are many times when they're not time blind. Like if they have to catch a flight, or if they have to go for a specific appointment or a specific very important thing in their own life, they will be able to do that, right? So that time their consciousness, the time consciousness, is at very high level. What are the challenges? The time conscious person, feels very frustrated. It's huge frustration for a time conscious person, because you are so up and ready, and you are waiting, and this person is not ready, right? Or this person does not come on time, right? We get angry with people who are supposed to meet us, and they don't come on time. They said, you'll come and pick me up at 10 o'clock, and we are ready at 9:45. Like Sudha said, for me, 10 o'clock means 9:45 is my 10 o'clock. That's how my clock runs. My clock runs ahead 15 minutes of the normal time. So 9:45, I am all ready. And this person is supposed to come at 10 o'clock. They don't come at 10 o'clock. They saunter in at 10:30, 10:45. For them, what is the difference? And when we look at time consciousness, I wanted to understand that, people coming from different backgrounds have got different way of looking at time. We being, let us say, in urban areas, city like Bangalore and all, we are so conscious of time, whereas let us say you go to a rural area. Recently I had been to one of the rural areas, and there I was talking to the guy, and he said, sir, tomorrow ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಬಂದು I'll pick you up. I said, ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ means what? And he says, ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ means 10 ಗಂಟೆ, 10 o'clock. He says 10 o'clock I'll come and pick you up. I said, fine. So he comes at 12:30, and for him it is still ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ, right? For him it is still morning only. It is not, no, 10, 12:30. I am like, oh, 2 hours, what do I do? I can jump up and feel like that. But for a person who comes from a rural background, again, for them time runs very in a different way. Time gets calculated. So if you are a time conscious person, your challenge is you're extremely frustrated. You become extremely restless, right? You are extremely restless. That half an hour, 10 minutes, even 5 minutes now, you can become extremely restless. Whereas, what is the challenge for the person who is time blind? He feels he is disregarded. He or she feels disregarded. He or she feels they're always being rushed about, right? They're always being pushed. They're always being rushed. They're always being controlled now by somebody around them. So these are the challenges now that both of them face. The time conscious person also faces challenges. The time blind also face a challenge now when they live with the others. So what are the strategies that we can adapt? So here is what is important. We evaluate it. Do we have to be time always? Is every event important to be on time? We can think, right? Is every event important for time? Let's say we are going out for, let's say we said, no, oh, let us go out for lunch today. And we said, oh, we'll leave home at 12:30. And I am a conscious person. I get ready at 12:15. I am ready. And these persons, they're all coming at 1 o'clock. Should I be pissed off with them because they're coming at 1 o'clock? What's my target? We're all going to have some fun by going out for lunch. So if I go out for lunch half an hour late, or half an hour to 20 minutes late, what difference is going to make? Can I be saying this is all right, right? We're just going to have some fun. It's not something that, we have committed some time to somebody else. We're just going to, for a movie, we're going for an exhibition, or we're just going out for a walk. So if 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour late, what difference does it make? So can we have that attitude that, let us evaluate everywhere. We don't have to be punctual. The time conscious people have to take a step back and look at time and saying, it's all right. The child says, I'll come in 10 minutes after having a bath. All you're going saying, we're going for a temple. So if you're coming 10 minutes late, what's the difference? Should I rake up that saying, oh, you're always on late, you don't know, you're conscious of time? Should I rake that up? Or can I say, it's not important to be on time, to go for some fun activity, to go for some non-important activity? So can I relax about that? So that's one way of looking at, that every situation we don't have to be time conscious. Everywhere we don't have to go on time appointment. So the first question that comes up is it essential at all? Right? The second question is, for the time blind person, they're not being, like I said, deliberately time blind. Their clock runs differently. So for instance, they need a lot of external reminders. Time blind people need a lot of external reminders for them about time. They don't have an internal clock. time conscious people have an internal clock running. Like if I have to be at a place at 10 o'clock, my body will internally take me there at 10 o'clock. It's not like I'm doing it with some great moral thing. Not that, oh, I have to be there at 10 o'clock, I can't make people wait. That is not at all the truth. Though, although I would like to give that as a justification, I'm a very conscious person. I don't like to people wait. Believe me, I can't do it. I can't go late. Right? My body will push me towards that being that place at 10 o'clock. So the same way the person who is not time conscious, no, it's their body that does not allow them to understand what time is all about. So they need a lot of external reminders. So for instance, this bathing example that I gave, this mom, what she did was she put a clock in the bathroom also. She put a clock in the bathroom and said, you're going to take bath for 10 minutes and come out. And here is the timer I'm starting. The moment it beeps, you have to come out. So this person needs that reminders. So what here we need is a strategy is that we make the other person understand, look, I know that, for you time flows differently. So I'm going to give you some reminders. So don't get angry when I give you reminders because you are not time conscious. I am time conscious, you are not time conscious. I'm going to give you reminders. So don't get angry because I'm giving you time reminders because you are not aware of it. It's a part of who you are. And I'm not upset with who you are. Right? This is who you are, that you are not conscious of a time inside. So you need an external reminder. So I will be giving you some external reminders. So if in case it's needed, I'll put a calendar everywhere. I'll put 2 or 3 clocks in every place where this person can become aware of time. I'll put timers for them. I'll ask them to set alarms for themselves. Right? These people need external cues of time. Time conscious people have an internal cue of time. Time blind people do not have an internal cue of time. They need external cues. So can we be get into an arrangement where we give them external cues of time? And what irritates the person who is time conscious? What irritates the person who is time conscious? That they are doing nothing in that time, that they are wasting their time. They're doing nothing. I'm waiting for half an hour for this person. I'm doing nothing. So because you're time conscious, it's such a huge precious resource for you. You think doing nothing is a waste of time. So here is the alternative for that. Can you plan to do something? You're always a time conscious person. Like Ashwini said, no, you always carry a book. You carry a book, and nowadays you don't even have to carry a book. You got a mobile phone. You can be happy with your mobile phone. You want to listen to some podcast, you want to see things, you are happy with that, right? So you tell yourself, you prepare yourself that I am going to be there at 10 o'clock because I can't help being there at 10 o'clock. This person will come at 10:30, 10:45. Let them come at whatever time they want. I will plan for 1 hour of something to do in that 1 hour. Either my work, I'll take my work along with me, I'll take my laptop along with me, or I'll call up. I have 5 people I need to call up and talk to. I have not talked to them for a long time. So I'll start chatting with these 5 people when they are doing something. So what happens is the time conscious person begins to feel that they're using a productive way of using their time. They're not wasting their time, right? So this is an important strategy to adopt, that you don't feel like you're wasting your time. If you're not wasting your time, what's the big deal about waiting? Waiting becomes a problem when you're doing nothing during the waiting period. If you have got some things to do during the waiting period, you're not at all bothered about it, right? So this is one strategy that we can adopt. And the second strategy that we can adopt is what Sudha said, that I walk my own way. You come whenever you want, right? I need to go to this place a little early. I know you will take a little time. I'm all right with you coming a little time, right? I don't need that, all of us have to go at the same time to this place. So at some point of time, we begin to develop that even with our spouse. When you're newly married, you feel like, we have to go together everywhere, because we have to show that we are a couple. But after 10 years of marriage, you feel like you come whenever you want, I'll come whenever I want, and we're happy to say, oh, he's going to come late or she's going to come late. I came a little early, right? So can we walk our own paths instead of saying we have to go together? Right? So we can tell the timeline person, that look, if you want to go with me, I'll go at 10 o'clock. Right? If you're not ready at 10 o'clock, it's all right. You come your own. I'll take my cab and go. You come, bring the car. When we come back, we can come together. Right? So can we develop a strategy to walk on our own? Right? So these two things are huge help for people who are time conscious. And for the time blind person, they need external cues. So can we co-opt them into the strategy of giving them external cues? And no, once we realize that it is not deliberate, it's not out of malice, it's not for to get us, they're trying to get at us, it's not that. It's their nature to be like that. I asked the tardy ones to give a message before they leave. No, it's like suppose you tell somebody, no, let's meet at that hotel for lunch, and I tell them, look, it takes me 10 minutes to get there. You message me now when you are leaving the house, right? So that I don't go there and sit now all by own half an hour before. So even I have done that. I've told people, no, it takes me 10 minutes to reach that place. So you just message me when you are leaving your home. So I know that for them it will take half an hour to reach. So when they give me a message saying that we are just leaving our home, I know that it will take another 5 minutes for them to leave their home. So I'll add that 5 minutes also and make it 35 minutes now for them to reach that place. And I will go there 10 minutes before in that sense. So we learn to work around this instead of getting hyper or upset about it. Right. So this is what we do. No, we tell people, if somebody says, oh, I'll come and pick you up at 10 o'clock, I'll tell them, can I pick you up at 10 o'clock? It's important for us to go there at some place. So instead of them picking me up, I know they might come late, but I don't want to be late. So I'll say, I'll come and pick you up at 10 o'clock. So when I do that, it's different from they coming me and picking me up. So there are so many such ways we can manage our work around with people instead of getting angry with them. There's no answer for why I am time conscious. Right? I can say the same thing, right? Why am I so time conscious? I don't have an answer. It's how I am wired. Right? And to think that I'm doing out of great morality or not to make other people wait or time is precious, all crap. It's not true. This is how I am wired. I can't be like you, Mira. Right? You can't be like me. This is what we need to accept about each other. Can inculcate some time consciousness provided we have the patience for it. Right? We should have the patience to inculcate time consciousness and not expect immediate results. Again, keep giving that reminders, keep having external cues for them because they do not have the internal cues for them. And sometimes maybe allowing them to suffer the consequences of not being time conscious. Just because we are hardwired doesn't mean we don't change. How come the person who is time blind never misses a flight? How come a person who is time blind never misses a particular appointment? No, they know this doctor will be available only at 10:30. If you don't go, you'll miss it. They will be there. No, it's not that they are totally time blind. Whenever they need it, they can make that effort, provided that high level of consciousness is there in their head. That oh, I got to be there at 10:30. I got to be there at 10:30. That consciousness. So we can give them external cues to become that consciousness.